everybody, welcome to today's episode. As always, everything that is discussed is allegations and alleged and allegations only. So when we last left off, I was talking about Ralph's transfer from from South Carolina's Kirkland Correctional to South Carolina's Perry Correctional. So a couple things to disclaim really quickly. I wanted to clarify, I should say. So initially when I discussed his weight, I was referring to 220 pounds was his start weight. That is what is documented within CDOC's records. When they transferred him, they had it on paper that he was 220 pounds. He said at that time he was actually closer to 250. So that's where I was getting the number for 100 pounds. It was from his actual weight, not the weight the DOC had on paper. The reason that they had that particular weight on paper is because that was his last medical record that they had where he actually went to medical. He was about 220 pounds, and that was about 6 months prior to his transfer. I believe it was in May. So 5 to 7 months, something like that. He had actually put on a little bit of weight before he was actually transferred. So just as a disclaimer, that's that. Also as a disclaimer, as a clarification, while he was at Kirkland in solitary on death row without due process, he actually contracted a severe case of COVID-19. It was so bad that his fever was so high that it caused blood to come out of his ears. He was finally able to see an audiologist last fall at Sterling, which don't get me started on that fiasco because we have all of that documented. The audiologist clarified what type of hearing loss he had, and I will get into the medical descriptions of all that later, but when I Googled it and I looked up what causes this specific type of hearing loss, ironically, it was an extremely high fever that can cause hearing loss such as that. So, connect. It's their fault, but I digress. I get a little pissed off about this, so forgive me. So anyway, back on track. When he was able to make that initial secret phone call, the attorney, that person that he was able to call, contacted an attorney. That attorney called Kirkland and was like, basically just causing some pressure, like, hey, I hear that you have this person, what's going on with them? Kirkland kind of freaked out and went, oh crap, now people know where he is, who he is, and what he's been going through. So they kind of hit the panic button and they transferred him to Perry Correctional, also in South Carolina. Which is at that point, that was in December of 2020. He was transferred from Kirkland to Perry Correctional. Once he got to Perry Correctional, he said he ate everything in sight. He kind of went a little ape and just ate everything. He went ahead, it was Twinkies, ding dongs, what do you guys call them, the little honey buns or whatever. He said anything that was edible, he said he was eating it. He was able to put on a lot of weight and he was able to get back to his normal weight, which was about 250-ish, 240 to 250. I'll go ahead and pop a picture of him at that point here too. He was able to go ahead and start doing his artwork again, which I'm going to do a specific video showcasing some of his artwork, his amazing ability. But this particular picture was able to be snuck out showing while he was there, kind of that he had stocked up again on his weight. So thank goodness for that. So through a whole series of events, like I said, he was transferred in December of 2020. I was introduced to him in March of 21, and from March of 21 through fall of summer of 23, I had gotten very, very tenaciously obnoxious, might be the term, with Colorado's DOC as well as South Carolina's DOC. The more that I found out about his treatment, I started writing letters, I started making phone calls, I got very involved because this type of incompetence and treatment lit a fire under me. As you can obviously tell, this is even before I was romantically involved with him. It pissed me off royally to see what they were doing, and I didn't even know the full scope, but just what I knew, it pissed me off. So I started go ahead and writing all these letters, making all these phone calls, and kind of got the ball rolling a little bit. I ended up writing 7 or 8 letters to Colorado's Department of Corrections, authorities and figures and stuff like that, administration, there we go, all the way up to writing a letter to Stansel as well, Andre Stansel, who is the current CDOC director. I also wrote a letter to several people in South Carolina up to Brian Sterling, who at that time, I'm not sure if he still is or not, at that time he was South Carolina's DOC director. So all of these letters had gone out, all of this information was there. I was citing the ICC statutes, citing the information that I knew at that time of his treatment, how he was being treated and what was going on, and how it was flat out against the Interstate Corrections Compact statutes. And I will get into the ICC specific statutes and rules and violations and things like that. But for right now, I'm not going to get into any of that. So I went ahead and did that, a whole series of events along with some other stuff in the background that was going on. He finally was able to be transferred back to Colorado in September of 23. whew, that was a fiasco and a half, just getting him back. But we were able to do it, and I did not let up. I was extremely, extremely pissed off at everything that had gone on. And like I said, it just lit a fire under me. So with all of that being said, that is how he finally got back to, there's so much more, like I always say, there's so much more details and things like that. These are just the high points of some of the things that went on. You know, like I said, he ended up getting RSV when he came back, or excuse me, while he was still at Perry. He ended up having to sleep slightly reclined because he was putting in medical kites to try to get help for his lungs. Shocker, they were ignoring him, and he now has, you know, upper respiratory issues as well. He was afraid that he would basically drown in his own lung fluid if he laid flat because he was coughing up so much liquid. So there was a lot of other things that were going on, but these are just, like I said, these are just the highlights. So next videos that I'm going to be doing, I'm going to start covering some of the information. I think I posted on a previous video regarding a petition. These are some things that I've been noticing regarding CDOC and the way that they are handling specific situations, overcrowding, as I'm sure everybody has been hearing, why they are requesting, or I should say, why are they requesting more money for more beds when they are completely mismanaging what they have already been given. So I'm going to do short videos, promise, regarding just touching on some of that and addressing some of that too. So in the meantime, thank you guys all so much for watching, the love and support. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. If anybody has any questions, comments, please leave questions or comments, leave them in the comment section. Please like the video, share the video, and don't forget to follow us over on Facebook at Beyond a Sentence on Facebook. Again, updates and things like that are going to be on there too. So thank you everybody so much. Appreciate it. Hope everybody has a great day, and we'll catch you on the flip side.